Lightness nights tend to invite dark energy. The same situation was seen here in the second senior grade of high school. Cold winds whooshed around all over, sending chills over the area. The dorm building seemed to be quieter than usual. The only sound that one could hear was the continuous coughing sound of a boy who was lying down on his bed, burning with fever. The boy's head hurt a lot, and his body was freezing. He knew he was suffering from a severe cold and that he had to go to the clinic before it got worse. As soon as he gets up from his bed, the cool winds out there get intense, and with a zap, the street light cracks up. The boy's head is hurting, but he still notices that there seems to be something behind the curtain. Damn, it's like a shadow that's now getting denser. The boy quickly wrapped himself in the blanket, as he too knew the shady story. He had heard that there is a female ghost in a white dress that wanders around in the horrible dorm past midnight. She used to be a student at their school, and due to some breakup issues, she hung herself in the male dorm room. Nobody actually knew about the ghost until there were more deaths. After some days, there were 2 guys who hung themselves in the dorm because they were possessed by the ghost. This boy, Elan, was now sitting in the same haunted dorm building and regretting his life choices. He would have gone home earlier if he had known this would happen. He wasn't even aware that the bus tickets would be sold out during the holidays. Moreover, he never in his life thought that he would be the only person in this dorm building. Well, now there was no time for him to think about all those supernatural stories, as Elan's head was definitely going to explode from the fever. He was determined to get to the community clinic. This guy was clever, as he concluded that the chances of bumping into the ghost were low compared to staying in the room and becoming a ghost himself, which was quite high. Elan gathers some courage and moves out of the room, but the very next moment he feels dizzy, and even the floor is shaking. He falls to the ground with a thud. Elan wonders if he is going to die here. If so, then apart from a ghost who died from hanging herself, there would also be a story of a ghost who died from fever in the dorm. Surprisingly, Elan notices something floating right in front of him, and when he looks up, it's the ghost. The dead girl approaches her junior and asks him if he has seen her rope. Elan couldn't believe his eyes and wondered if the ghost was there to hurt him or possess him. Now that's when Elan gets this stupid idea of the ghost possessing him so that he could stand up. And if that were the case, he could easily get to the community clinic to get himself treated. Without thinking any further, Elan grabs her dress and pleads with the ghost to possess him. The ghost girl was actually surprised by his behavior and planned to scare the crap out of him. She asks him again if he has seen the rope she used to hang herself. But this crazy guy was in no mood to care about the rope. He just wants the ghost to possess him. Next up, Elan hugs the ghost girl, and damn, he was chilling right there. The ghost tries to shoo him off, as he wasn't even wearing his pants. Elan was a total creep, and even then, the ghost girl got scared of him, and she started running away. This pervert chases the ghost, and when he was about to get hold of her, something weird happened, and Elan fell into the water. He feels so wet and cold, and he finds himself in an unfamiliar place. There he finds a mirror, and when he peeps in, he almost loses his own soul as he sees a ghost. In short, the ghost is now scared of a ghost. Well, something was not right here. Elan had been successfully possessed by the ghost, but the mirror reflected the face of the ghost instead. What was exactly happening here and who had possessed who seemed to be an issue here. Moreover, it should be the ghost that controls the body possessing it, but strangely, here Elan was controlling the ghost instead. Elan approaches the ghost and asks her why she is so shy, as she has already possessed his body. He wondered if it might be because his life was so horrible that she dared not speak to him. After being an actual creep, Elan assures the ghost girl that he is a kind person and he won't do anything bad to her. He suggests that she get down here so that they can talk face to face. This guy really has a lot of spare time. The ghost leaves his body, or one can say that Elan left the ghost alone, and he falls with a thud on his bum. Damn, he had forgotten that he has a fever and the purpose behind being desperate to get possessed. Elan calls out to the ghost girl, and he begs her to get possessed again. He asks her to send him to the community clinic, and then she can leave his body alone. Next up, this funny guy runs and hugs the ghost girl, and he enters her body again. Well, saving lives is currently more important. He thanks her for the support and promises to burn incense for her later and get a monk for her to cross over with so that he doesn't have to linger in that stinky male dorm. Although, she was a ghost and she couldn't smell the stink, but then too, Elan felt bad for her. Oh, what a sweet guy. Somehow, Elan manages to reach the community clinic. He was definitely dying to come here. Through the ghost girl's body, he penetrates the wall, and now he is certain that it is not too shabby to be possessed. He could legitimately float instead of walking and even penetrate the walls. Elan decides to discuss this with this ghost girl to get her to possess him more often. This guy has officially lost his mind. Using the ghost girl's body, Yilan floats around as if he is on a trip. He then hears a lady's voice pleading with someone not to do something. Yilan knew that the dean was always looking for students having sex around here. He wonders if they were doing it even on school holidays. That's when Yilan notices the store beauty, a widow, having sex with someone in the garden. He takes a peek, and damn, it's the headmaster who is doing it. This guy always looked so virtuous, and he was now doing something like this. It was indeed a rare opportunity, so Yilan decided to take a picture of it. But the very next moment, someone touches him from the back, indicating to him that he has crossed the line. Yilan, who was currently in the body of the ghost girl, jumps in astonishment. He turns back and yells at the person behind him because he got scared. Yilan then takes a closer look at the man behind him, and he jumps again. Holy crap, another damned scary ghost. Without thinking for another second, Yilan attacks the ghost, and wow, he has now become a superhuman after being possessed. He actually threw that thing so far away with a single punch. By this time, the ones who were way too indulged in pleasure were aware that there was someone around. Abruptly, Yilan pops his head out and informs the headmaster that they shouldn't worry as he just got rid of the ghost. Yilan actually forgot that he was currently in the ghost girl's body, and the store beauty is shocked by it and falls unconscious. The headmaster clearly sees the ghost and recognizes her in an instant. Yes, the ghost girl is Kyo Xiaoman, and she also greets the headmaster. The headmaster falls to his knees with a thud and pleads with Kyo Xiaoman to let go of him. He also confesses that he was wrong, as he didn't know she would hang herself back then. Finally, Kyo Xiaoman confronts the headmaster and blames him, saying that she died due to injustice. Yilan tries to clarify that he isn't the one who is doing all the talking and that this part was said by the ghost girl. Next up, Kyo Xiaoman starts slapping the headmaster, and Yilan is the one who truly enjoys this feeling. The headmaster elucidates, saying that back then he wasn't the one who did anything to her. There were no debts without creditors, and there is no hatred without cause. It was true that Kyo Xiaoman had already killed the two guys who had raped her. The headmaster tries to clear his name by saying that he was just trying to cover the matter so that news doesn't go out and that he never wanted Xiaoman to kill herself. When Kyo Xiaoman made a complaint, the headmaster insisted that she shouldn't go to the police as those two guys were from prominent families. Even if Xiaoman had taken the matter to court, she would have failed to sue them. Moreover, the headmaster didn't want her to drag the school into this matter. He gave priority to his promotion, and so the headmaster warned Xiaoman, saying that if she went to the police, he would expel her from the school. Meanwhile, Yilan couldn't believe that this guy actually used to protect rapists and threaten victims. It was certain that this lady was already traumatized, and she only killed herself because she was threatened. In short, the headmaster was definitely the culprit behind Kyo Xiaoman. Here, Xiaoman informs the headmaster that she is already dead, but she's still carrying the reputation of killing herself for messing around with boys, and it was all his fault. She asks him to imagine what his reputation would be if he died here today. The headmaster immediately starts pleading with Kyo Xiaoman to let him go, as he has a wife and kids to take care of. He puts on an act by slapping himself and agreeing to the fact that he is not a man. According to Yilan, the headmaster deserves to die, but it'd be a pity for the beauty, as it'd be the end of her reputation if this news went out. He tells Xiaoman that killing the headmaster now is useless, and he asks her to get him to turn himself into the police. With this, even Kyo Xiaoman could clear her reputation. Moreover, the headmaster would lose his reputation, and this would be the end of his life. This would indeed be better than killing him. Kyo Xiaoman listens to Yilan and asks this old douchebag to turn himself in, but he doesn't agree. Even at this point, he only cared about his reputation, so it was certain that he wouldn't confess unless they taught him a lesson. Yilan decides to tie a rope around his neck and choke him to death. In an instant, Xiaoman does what was said, and she starts choking him. She only lets it go when Yilan tells her to. This was now his last chance, and if the headmaster didn't turn himself in, this would be the end of him. Xiaoman addresses Yilan as her master and acts accordingly toward him. That's when the headmaster ultimately decides to confess his crimes right away. Yilan suggests that they should monitor him. Now that Kyo Xiaoman was speaking to Yilan, he questioned her about why she hadn't spoken to him earlier. Since Yilan entered Xiaoman's body, she has lost control, and she can't speak or do anything with her body. Yilan was not comfortable with the way she said that he entered her body. This was the main issue here, as Xiaoman was the ghost, and technically, she should have been the one to enter his body. But then, if Xiaoman had entered his body, she should have looked like him. But here, Yilan was looking like her. Well, Yilan wonders if it's really possible for him to possess a ghost. Kyo Xiaoman notices that the headmaster is getting away, and Yilan has got to follow him. But then he suddenly remembers that the store beauty was lying down unconscious there. They couldn't leave her here as there was a kitchen knife ghost around. Xiaoman was ready to carry the lady, but the only consequence was that she would suffer from a headache every now and then in the future. Well, that was fine, and so Xiaoman quickly grabbed her. According to Yilan, the store beauty was so light, just like a plush toy, and damn, this woman is indeed a curvy one. After running for a while, the headmaster stops and pants hard. He thought that the ghost girl had stopped following him, but the very next moment he felt a jolt because of the cold wind on his neck. It was Kyo Xiaoman who blew air on his neck to send chills down his spine. That man didn't even wait for a second, and he ran for his life. Yilan for sure enjoyed this moment a lot. This was one of the scariest ways mentioned in the novels, and yes, it worked. While chasing behind the headmaster, two ghosts meddle with the situation and try to stop Kyo Xiaoman. They claim that she crossed the realm when Master Hua wasn't watching, and she even dared to beat up Metalhead. These ghosts were ruling the streets here, and they decided to attack Xiaoman in order to teach her a lesson. Master Hua starts attacking her, and she fights back efficiently. Both Master Hua and the kitchen knife ghost are definitely seeking death today. Yilan was worried that the punch was going to be a hard blow, but it was like punching the air. Master Hua scrams before he can lose his soul, whereas the kitchen knife ghost stays back and gives Xiaoman an ugly smile. After bashing them up, Kyo Xiaoman compliments her master, saying that he sure is powerful. Well, she wasn't joking. The punk's soul is like the demon of demons, and he has the potential to be a soul king. A punch of his is all it takes to kill a lost soul like Kyo Xiaoman. In such a case, she won't have the opportunity to leave this world and start all over again. No, it was not about reincarnation. It was more like leaving this world, but one doesn't know exactly where they will be going. According to Kyo Xiaoman, there would be someone assisting a batch of souls to leave this world every now and then to somewhere else. That might be the only way for souls to leave this world. Heaven and hell are all made up. Yilan was almost scared when he analyzed the situation and concluded that there could be many souls in the world right now. Xiaoman won't dare to lie to her master, and she tells him that it's because of the yin and yang energies. Only souls with heavy grievances would come into contact with humans, whereas most souls live a normal life. Well, that brings him to the point where he concludes that after the headmaster turns himself in, Kyo Xiaoman's grievances will go away. Bravo, that's right. Without the shackle of her grief, Xiaoman will be able to leave the dorm building and regain her freedom. And so they decide to go after the headmaster. The headmaster does head to the police station, but as soon as he enters, he starts acting like a victim himself. The policeman on duty recognized him as Headmaster Liu at once. The headmaster grabs a policeman's leg and holds on tightly. He then begs for protection from a ghost. The policeman immediately started looking for the ghost. Headmaster Liu looks out and spots Kyo Xiaoman looking straight into his soul from a distance not that far. Yilan was anxious as this old creep was getting help from the police officer, and he suggested that they should hide first. Oh ho, humans and their anxiety. They didn't need to hide, as Kyo Xiaoman could choose who could see her and who couldn't. Yes, these two officers seemed to really not see Yilan. Here, inside the police station, Headmaster Liu was still holding onto the officer's leg, and he kept yelling for help. The police officers confirmed that there was no ghost outside and asked the headmaster if there was something wrong with his head. The policeman requested that he get up, but he didn't listen to them. The police station is a law enforcement agency, and the yang energy here is strong. So Headmaster Liu was sure that a ghost wouldn't dare to enter. Well, it is true, and the ghosts usually don't even dare to get close to the entrance. Although, at present, Kyo Xiaoman doesn't seem to feel afraid since Yilan has entered her body. Oh, please, Xiaoman should actually stop talking about Yilan entering her body. He's still young, and moreover, this guy is a virgin. The whole concept was quite misleading, and Kyo Xiaoman keeps talking about it freely. According to Xiaoman, Yilan was neither a human nor a ghost. Well, she should just forget it and pretend that this conversation never took place. It was time to get down to business since Xiaoman was not afraid anymore. They quickly enter the police station and scare the hell out of Headmaster Liu. With fright, the headmaster hugs the policeman even tighter. Next, Xiaoman ties the rope around Headmaster Liu's neck and strangles him. Elan reminds him, saying that it's not nice that he lied, as he was supposed to be virtuous. Kyo Xiaoman promises to choke him to death if he continues to lie, and she'll consider it her revenge. Headmaster Liu doesn't wish to die here, so he immediately agrees to confess. He informs the police officers of how he sinned. Back then, when Kyo Xiaoman was raped, he was the one who suppressed the matter because he was afraid that it would affect his promotion. This was huge news, and the police officer asked Xiao Liu to contact the department head right away. After this moment, Kyo Xiaoman's reputation should be cleared, and even if the law cannot do anything to the headmaster, this news alone would be the end of his life. Elan feels amazing, as it is certainly an achievement to do a good deed. Now that they have sent the store beauty home, they could call it a night. Elan had a lot of fun and adventure tonight, and it felt like a dream. He decides to get rid of the ghost girl later, and now that the store beauty is still unconscious, Elan plans to grope her a little bit, and then his night will be perfect. As the work is done, Kyo Xiaoman moves out of Elan's body, and damn, this guy still has a fever. Xiaoman thanks her master for his help and promises that she will never forget what Elan has done for her for the rest of her life. Kyo Xiaoman swears that from today onward, she'll do whatever it takes for any favor he needs from her. She sure was good with words, and Elan speculates that she must be great at language. He sighs as she has always gotten only 90 marks on his language test, and he asks her if she can suggest any super tips to him. But then Elan notices that Kyo Xiaoman's appearance has completely changed, and she looks breathtakingly gorgeous. Kyo Xiaoman finally regains her original Lu after her grievances are settled, and Elan seems to be stunned just by looking at her beauty. Xiaoman approaches Elan and thanks him, as without him she would still look ugly and only wander in the male dorm. Elan feels embarrassed when she talks about the male dorm, but now that she is so pretty, that dumb ghost would be so in love with her. Elan assures Xiaoman that he'll take care of her from now on. Although Kyo Xiaoman is a ghost, she's a beautiful ghost, and following the usual novel plot development, the romantic setting of having a beauty study with Elan would come true. When this happens, they'll study together, and then Elan will kiss her when it's break time. Kyo Xiaoman interrupts him, saying that she is afraid that she can't be with him. Wait, this literally broke Elan's heart. Xiaoman could feel the summoning, and she would certainly leave the world soon. Elan thought that there would be someone who would come to take her, and now he wondered if she was trying to get rid of him. Well, that was supposed to be the case, but now she has been having a clear feeling as if someone sent her a notification. Kyo Xiaoman wondered that this was happening because her master gave her permission to leave after getting rid of her grievances. But this didn't make sense, as Elan was just an ordinary high school student who worried about his examination. The next moment, Kyo Xiaoman felt the light. It was here. She starts floating as if the light is attracting her. It seemed like she was turning into an angel and going to heaven. While going, Xiaoman promises that she'll never forget Elan and bids him goodbye. Actually, it was good that she was leaving this world that once hurt her. Elan wishes that she'd live a better life in another world. Something happens midway, and Xiaoman stays still for some reason. Elan wonders what happened, as it has been a long time now, but Kyo Xiaoman was still hovering there. Abruptly, Xiaoman falls down, and he lands straight over Elan's face. Ouch, he gets hurt and loses his balance, and Kyo Xiaoman comfortably falls over him. Kyo Xiaoman gets up and checks on Elan to see whether he is alright. Well, he was okay, but Xiaoman couldn't go to heaven because somebody asked her for a toll fee, and she was chased away as she didn't have any money. This was really a high-level, nonsensical thing. Why on earth does one need to pay to get to heaven? Of course, when one needs to pay to fly on a plane and ride on a train, then why would one not need to pay to go to heaven? Elan wondered to whom Xiaoman was paying the fee to. Well, there was a traffic department there, and it was Kaidian that was taking the fee. Kaidian is a big company that serves the earth, the spirit realm, and heaven. They currently monopolize the only channel for spirits to get to heaven, and if the spirits don't pay, they'll leave them on earth to suffer. They won't let them go to heaven, even if they were to lose their soul. At this rate, Kyo Xiaoman should just stop talking, as the more she tells Elan, the dizzier he gets. This guy still has a fever. Xiaoman remembers that Elan said that he would protect her earlier, and she was trying to confirm if he really meant it. Her eyes sparkle in anticipation. Well, Elan actually meant it. But what's with that damn banana background? Kyo Xiaoman tells him that since he said that he would protect her, then he should please pay the toll fee to get her to heaven. She ends her statement with a thank you. And surprisingly, the toll fee was not too much, it was only 50 million. Yes, it's 50 damn million. Elan is just a high school student, and there was no way he could get so much money. Even for once, Kyo Xiaoman didn't consider his feelings. She assures him that things will be fine and that, with her help, he will be able to make this amount in no time. Kyo Xiaoman then offers Yilan her spirit weapon, the rope she used to hang herself in the male dorm. Yilan wondered if she wanted him to hang himself in the male toilet too. To ordinary people, a spirit weapon is like a magic treasure. Mortals can't see it, and it can capture any target with 100% accuracy. Yilan could either use it for himself or sell it to a mage. Kyo Xiaoman did feel different from before. She was cute and naive when she had just left his body, but she seemed to be a little strange now. Xiaoman's body had recovered in the beam, but that only lasted for a few minutes, and she could float again. She cuts the topic and hands Yilan the rope. Kyo Xiaoman wishes him luck in making money. Wait, this guy didn't agree yet, but before he could say anything, Xiaoman disappeared into the rope. He suddenly felt the pain, and his fever was getting severe. Yilan somehow manages to wake up Sister Yu, the store beauty, but upon getting awake, she gets scared of Yilan. He clarifies that he isn't a ghost and asks her to calm down. Sister Yu asks him what she is doing here, and he tells her that he found her lying on the ground. He knew that she was searching for Headmaster Liu, but he was at the police station. She gives him an excuse, and Yilan knows that she's lying. Sister Yu suddenly notices that Yilan was not wearing any pants, and she gets suspicious about him and screams for help. She thinks of him as a pervert. Yilan was just hoping that nobody would come from hearing her scream, as it would be so embarrassing. That's when Yilan notices the kitchen knife ghost staring at them from a distance. Damn, this kitchen knife ghost just won't leave Yilan alone. And Yilan was well aware of the fact that he wouldn't be able to fight him without Kyo Xiaoman's help. So for now, he decides to just avoid the kitchen knife ghost. Yilan clings to Sister Yu and begs her to bring him to the clinic because his legs are so weak that he cannot walk. Sister Yu sighs in irritation, but she couldn't say no to him because of his damn puppy face. Somehow, Yilan manages to reach the community clinic with the help of Sister Yu. He was definitely dying to come here. While lying down, Yilan notices that Sister Yu is still worried about Headmaster Liu, and he wonders what she sees in him even after he did such a disgusting thing with her. Sister Yu then informs Yilan to rest here and that she's going home. Yilan worries about her and tells her it's dark outside. He also tries to alert her about the ghost in the forest. Sister Yu feels that this guy is so stupid that he still believes in superstitions even after being an educated student. She gets going and bangs the door behind her. Yilan was scolded for being nice, and he wonders if the kitchen knife ghost is still out there waiting for him. He decides to keep this matter aside and sleep well. After a while, Kyo Xiaoman calls out to Yilan and informs him that something has happened to the store beauty, Sister Yu. She adds up, saying that the kitchen knife ghost that was following him went for her, and she was afraid that Sister Yu was in danger. Xiaoman was afraid that the kitchen knife ghost would follow Yilan again, so he took a stroll around secretly. She was indeed one good soul. Yilan decides to possess her and chase that ghost away, but Kyo Xiaoman can't roam around in daylight. Now Yilan was all on his own. Damn, he was just a high school student, so how he was supposed to fight a ghost? Yilan manages to enter the store and instantly notices that there's something wrong with Sister Yu. Kyo Xiaoman whispers in Yilan's ear, saying that the store beauty doesn't seem right, and asks him to try his best to get sunlight on her. But first, Yilan wants to take a picture as proof. He then pulls the shutter up and lets some sunlight into the shop. Sister Yu burns from the inside, but she doesn't show any signs of disagreement, and Yilan wonders if she is really possessed by the kitchen knife ghost. Now Yilan heads towards the windows to open them up. Well, this time Sister Yu reacts badly, and Yilan tells her that he is doing a good deed just like Lei Feng. Once the sunlight shines over Sister Yu, the ghost in her comes out and growls. The ghost clenches his teeth and leaps forward to attack Yilan. He swiftly grabbed Sister Yu's hands, and Yilan was surprised to find that her strength was no stronger than a cat. Kyo Xiaoman cheers for her master, calling him a powerful guy, and asks him to take her to the sun. Yilan tries his level best and pulls her hard. The kitchen knife ghost screams in pain, as if he can't control the situation anymore. After a lot of struggles, the kitchen knife ghost finally moves out of Sister Yu's body, and while going away, it threatens Yilan. Sister Yu falls straight into Yilan's arms, and damn, the beauty from the store is so busty. Suddenly, she wakes up and finds herself in this awkward situation. Sister Yu pushes Yilan's hand and shoos him off. Yilan gets mad at her at once and asks her to shut up. He elucidates how she behaved and attacked him earlier, and he even shows her the evidence. Yilan plays wicked and tries to blame her just because he knows that people who get possessed will lose that part of their memory. He then shows her the picture he had taken earlier and tries to confuse her. Sister Yu couldn't believe this. Yilan tries to confirm whether she was wandering around at night and encountered an evil spirit despite all the warnings. Sister Yu holds on tightly and blames him for being superstitious. She quickly snatches his phone and deletes the picture. She gives him an excuse, saying that she was tired and that he shouldn't take photos of ladies whenever he wanted to. Not only did she not thank Yilan for saving her life, but Sister Yu was also throwing a tantrum at him. Now this was too much, yet he tries to warn her about the kitchen knife ghost, but she asks him to shut it. Yilan gets furious and walks away, but he taunts her, saying that she'll surely know who's the one who is saving her and who's the one who is harming her. While going back, Yilan scolds Kyo Xiaoman and accuses her of all the scolding he got from his sister Yu. On the other hand, Xiaoman thinks that he did a good deed and that he'll get good karma from it. Kyo Xiaoman tells him that since he's trying to help her make money, this good karma would be worth quite a bit. Yilan yells at her for this statement too, and tears instantly form in Xiaoman's eyes. She begins her drama. He immediately consoles her and gets ready to help her. There's a quick change in her emotions, and Yilan feels like he's being cheated. Now he wanted to know exactly how he could trade karma for money. Even Kyo Xiaoman didn't know about it, but she urged him to help Sister Yu. Yilan had no problem helping her, but the opponent was an evil spirit, and he was just a high school student. Yilan felt helpless. Kyo Xiaoman praises her master by saying that he is amazing. Yilan interrupts in between and tells her to call him Yilan, as he is no master. It suddenly clicked to him that it wasn't Sister Yu who was weak. Instead, he was one who was stronger. This weakling who couldn't even do 10 push-ups was now stronger than ever. Next up, Yilan plans to test out his cultivation base, as he feels it has improved lately. For now, he decides to run 100 meters. He didn't want to boast, but during his middle school sports day, he once ranked in the top 10. And to be honest, there were only 10 candidates in that running competition. But the fact remains the same. Yilan gets ready, runs, and damn, he completes 100 meters in 5.95 seconds. Even Usain Bolt's world record was over 9 seconds, and this was ridiculous. He thinks that the stopwatch might be broken and tries again, and boom, this time he completes it in 2.1 seconds, which also included the time he pressed start and stop on the stopwatch. This was definitely one kind of teleportation. Moreover, this guy wasn't even tired. To conclude, Yilan thinks that he's becoming the Flash. Well, Yilan is extremely powerful now. Kyo Xiaoman suggests that he test his strength right now and tells him about the dynamometer that the school has recently added to the basketball court. Well, this was a brilliant idea, all thanks to Xiaoman, who keeps wandering around the school all day long. Yilan arrives at the basketball court, and Xiaoman elucidates, saying that a full force blow from a regular person would have a force of approximately 150 kg. For now, the school's PE teacher, Sir Caramel, is the strongest, with a force of 300 kg. At Yilan's current state, he could punch at least 500 kg. Without thinking about it further, Yilan goes for a nice and heavy punch, and boom, the whole place was disturbed to its best. A loud bang followed by a huge hole in the wall was the result of that one heavy punch. This was definitely too ridiculous. In an instant, the school authority comes running to see what happened. Yilan was too shocked to move, but he ran for his life as soon as he learned that a teacher had found out about it. Fortunately, he managed to escape, but he wondered about the amount he would have to pay if he was caught. Xiaoman sighs loudly at his condition. Just then, both of them hear some noises and some footsteps approaching them. People were pleading with the lady to put down the baby. Oh, it was Sister Yu who was trying to run away with a baby. Yilan witnesses the whole scenario, and then he notices the kitchen knife ghost. What the hell? The evil spirit had possessed Sister Yu again. Sister Yu was running and going crazy all because of this stupid ghost. Forget the fact that this evil kitchen knife ghost was hurting an adult. He was also trying to take an innocent baby's life. Kyo Xiaoman was also furious and asked Yilan not to let him go. Yilan increases his speed and heads towards Sister Yu. He reaches her and tries to grab her from behind, but he overshoots her. Yilan fails to notice the railings in front of him and bangs straight into them with a thud. And then Sister Yu swiftly leaps over him and jumps high. Sister Yu lands smoothly, and she's so agile. Yilan wondered if this kitchen knife ghost used to be a hurdler when he was alive. Sister Yu continues to run, and Yilan chases after her. She climbs up the school building and runs up to the terrace. Yilan follows her and asks her to stop right there. When she doesn't listen to him, Yilan tries to grab her from behind, but he accidentally tears off her t-shirt. Damn, this was embarrassing. But even then, Sister Yu doesn't stop, and she jumps off the building. Yilan tries to save her, but he ends up tearing her shorts too. Now he had only one solution, so Yilan quickly removed the rope from his pocket, and with the help of the rope, he held on tightly to Sister Yu's leg. He manages to get a hold of her and swings her to the safer side. Hang on. Yilan soon notices that Sister Yu is going to fall upon him, and the very next moment she falls straight onto him with a thud. Yilan still manages to catch the baby, who falls right after Sister Yu. Phew, what a relief. He actually saved both of them. But this perverted boy seemed to enjoy Sister Yu's smooth skin and her delicious smell. Even after such an incident, this guy was enjoying every second of it. The kitchen knife ghost finally comes out of Sister Yu's body and confronts Yilan. He asks him who he is and how he dared interfere with his business. Yilan ignores the ghost and picks up the baby, but the kitchen knife ghost attacks him. Yilan easily fights back. He literally has to beat him up every day to stop him. The kitchen knife ghost sure was ballsy to bully a widow and her child. The spirit sobs hearing all this, and next, Yilan pulls out the knife from the ghost's head. The kitchen knife ghost yells in pain and tries to get a hold of his head. Yilan notices that it is a real knife. The ghost continues to scream in pain, and Yilan tells him to shut up. He warns him, saying that if he dares to scream again and wake the baby, he will kill him. But there was no point in killing a guy who was already dead. Kyo Xiaoman tells Yilan to tell the kitchen knife ghost that he will crush his soul if he dares to scream again. All the ghosts were afraid of this statement. Yilan yells at the ghost and warns him about crushing his soul, and that's when the ghost actually gets scared. Yilan then crushes the ghost under his feet and asks him what is wrong with him. He also asks the kitchen knife ghost why he was trying to kill Sister Yu and the child. Here's the video ends. Guys, if you like this recap, then like the video. I will meet you in another video. Till then, bye.